Yo, it's your boy Jacob. Today we're talking about the two Autopot systems I've been growing with and am familiar with. The first one they sent me was this 4-pot system. It's nothing crazy. It's got the 12.4 gallon hard tank in the back here, and it's got 3.9 gallon pot sizes here. I guess it comes in white now. Cool. It's 264.29. Salem, chill out. Meow. It's got the reservoir, obviously the giant pot in the back for the water. They say don't put it in your tent. I do anyways, and then I just cover the top so the light doesn't promote algae growth in the reservoir, and that works just fine for me. Not everyone has the ability to set the reservoir outside of the tent due to room constraints, and that's okay. I know there's an advised way to do things and an ill-advised way to do things. You'll be fine if you just keep a nice sterile environment. Also, peep the Autopot t-shirt. They sent me this pretty cool design. Can't complain. Really nice soft tee. Not sure of the composition. Is it cotton? Is it not? Let me check. Looks like it's a next level blank. Can't see the fabric composition doing that. Whatever. Feels like a blend, or at least cotton. Pretty soft. Excuse me while I itch my eye. I should say scratch and itch. Anyways, you got 4 1-pot grommeted trays and lids, which are what the pots sit in here. They hold the water that the plants will then suck up. You got the 3.9 gallon or 2.2 gallon pots in black or white right there. You got the Gulf filter, or a 1/2 or 3/8 inch click fit tank filter, which only comes with the Flexa tanks. Here are the Flexa tanks. And this is if you're doing some serious stuff and don't want to have to check your plants in a long while. Obviously, these do work with any plants, not just cannabis, not just tomatoes, as you can see here. Great way to get some semi-passive income coming in with this watering system that pretty much automates everything outside of just putting in water. Hence why you'd maybe want a bigger tank here, because then you can even do no tank and hook it up to a bigger reservoir if you want. Essentially, it's as automated as long as you have water in the system. So if you put more water in, the less likely you are to have to check everything and refill everything and mix your nutrients. Obviously, depending on your plants, you're going to want to check on them, prune them, stay up to date with them. Obviously, that can be a daily thing depending on the plants and the grow stage they are in. The 3/8 inch cross connectors and 3/8 inch T connectors are over here. Nothing crazy about them. If any of these parts snap, as you can see here, you can click on here and get replacement parts. They ship very quickly, and it's been very easy to get any replacement parts in my experience. The inline tap is if you get the Flexa tanks. Again, I don't have that. I'm not going to be able to talk about that. You got the aqua valves, which is this gray and black thing in here. It's like a double physical valve that will raise and lower and shut off depending on the water level. Be warned, if you do overfill it with water, you still might have too much water pushing up into this and it might overflow a little. It's not the end of the world. If you got a good enough grow tent, you can just use a shop vac and vacuum it up. I've had to do that. It happens. It's not the end of the world. The root control squares go in the bottom of the pots. If I remember correctly, they're like a copper lined piece of fabric that will prevent the roots from growing into the bottom of your pot and into the water, which could cause the pot to crack or break, or just kind of get into the water, which you just don't want. If the roots are constantly wet, that can cause a whole other host of issues. And then obviously you get the 3/8 inch black pipe, rubberized pipe, rubber pipe, however you want to word it. It's flexible, it's nice, it's easy to cut with scissors or a knife. It's bend it over, slice, you're good. Not rocket science. In fact, none of this is rocket science. Don't overthink it. You can add stuff to it like the air dome kit to aerate everything a little bit more easily. A little extras here if you want air base, air dome, air base square plus 4 air domes. Again, the setup I'm using is right here, 264.29, and it is in stock. Nothing crazy. You can pause the video, go over some of the other things here, go over the reviews. A lot of 5 stars. They got a lot of informational videos. Apparently my cat likes them too. That's good for him. It's kind of funny, he's not the biggest fan of catnip in the first place, so whatever. I will include some videos of my current setup in both my AC Infinity and Vivosun tent. If you use code Jacob at Autopot-USA, Vivosun, or AC Infinity, you will save money and I will get paid. Thank you. It's how I afford to eat. So keep it up, guys. You're doing a great job at feeding your boy. I would appreciate it. Now, more recently, we got the Geopot system, which is the fabric pot system. And since they're fabric pots instead of hard plastic, the air can come in through the sides, which is when you have air pruning occur, so that the roots don't like grow up and get all messed up and twisted against the side of the pot. It's kind of hard to explain with my hand here. Basically, you'd have the roots stop growing at the edge here due to the air pruning, versus in the hard plastic pots, they might grow against the edge. They could maybe for some reason try to grow through the plastic. Very unlikely, but it's really up and down in how you maintain and care for your equipment. You know, if you let things get all gross and shoddy and basically do things that cause weakness in the integrity of the hard plastic, that's when you'll see issues. But with the air pruning, since the air is on the edge and going through the fabric, for lack of better words, you'll be just fine. Obviously the bases are shaped a little bit differently, but that's about it. You know, the gallon tank is the same. Got different sizes here in the pot size, and they ultimately work the same. Ground train lid, the Geopots, golf filter kit, or tank filter if needed. Cross connectors, T connectors, inline tap if you get the Flexa tank. Aqua valves again. The pot sock round, which goes around the base of the pot. It's literally just another fabric semi-sized base that will go over the giant fabric pot and sit in the bottom with you. I really don't know what to say about that other than it just kind of helps with everything. And the price is $294, so it's not even that more expensive. So yeah, you can also do the air base kit, and like I said, if you need, you can just click any of these. And then this is the equivalent of the copper lined fabric cutout square for the actual hard plastic pots. So this will prevent the roots from growing into the water basin, the tray as they call it. They're not that expensive, and it's super easy to basically order all your accessories. I'll word it that way. So yeah, not much going on here. It's a pretty simple thing. I'll back up here, kind of just go through the options. Got your 60-gallon tanks. Yeah, you could probably grow a lot more than 4 plants with that. Obviously, do what's legal in your state. That's all I'm gonna say. If you're not doing that, don't tell me. The less I know, the better. I ain't the feds. I ain't the narcs. I ain't a cop. I ain't no snitch. I just want you to not end up in other issues. I'll put it that way. So yeah, I will insert some videos and you can look at my current setup. I have setups that came with smart control systems, so I can go on my phone here and let me see it. Pulling up the Vivosun app, code Jacob to save some money. Got to sign in quick. And you have the app here for Vivosun. It's got your temp, humidity, vapor levels, outside temp. You can control the lighting and everything. It's just painless. It makes everything so easy that you really don't have to worry about a thing. So open up the AC Infinity app. Got a cooler intro, animated. Pretty chill. Again, temperature, humidity, vapor content. Monitor all the ports when it's plugged into them, Bluetooth and Wi-Fi. You can click into it. Set your settings. You can automate the lighting and everything. So yeah, and I'll probably make some more videos about that if you want. Comment below and we can go in depth and everything and go over everything on either app and cross compare. But the one thing that brings them all together, no matter the tent and grow system, grow monitoring setup you have, is the Autopot watering systems. Doesn't matter if you got the Geopot and you spend some money on that, or if you got the hard plastic pots as you see here, or any amalgam of either. You'll be fine. There's a lot of options here. Here's your air dome kit, propagation lid if you got some clones or seeds, other accessories. You'll be good to go. But that automatic watering saves you time and energy, and there's no better way to think about it. So if I insert some videos here and we go into my AC Infinity tent, right off the bat you'll see on the side the smart controller going in. You'll see I have the lights lowered since these plants are pretty small still and just beginning. Shout out to Woodsmith Homes of Austin, Minnesota for supplying the seeds and sponsoring that grow. And you can check more about that in my grow tutorial series. And as you can see, the fabric pots are just as advertised. I don't really have anything to say about that. One plant, one seed didn't take. You're going to have that. Don't sweat it. Not everything grows right. I'm going to just take a clone, a trimming from one of the other plants, and just solve that solution that way. Otherwise, you can see all the plants are growing just fine. And again, like I've mentioned, you can have the reservoir inside. I just use a UV protecting bag as a lid for the reservoir so that the light, again, as I've said, does not promote algae blooms in the reservoir. But even if that happens, and I've had that happen, because then you grow enough, things happen. And it's about picking yourself back up and moving forward. I just used some disinfectant to kill the algae and started over, cleaned everything out, and still ended up with a suitable grow at the end of the day. Didn't have any issues outside of that, and didn't have any follow-up issues after mitigating that. So again, don't worry. If you do have issues, if you do have questions, comment below. If you've been through a situation, chances are I've been there too and can maybe help you get out of it. And if I can't, I can at least look into it for you or have someone else come and help you. Now, if we go over to the Vivosun tent with the hard plastic pots, you'll see my trim bin, which is what I used to trim everything. You can use my discount link at jacobthefox.com and save some money on that. I get paid for that as well. And you can also pick up the canna brush and use the discount link for that there, which whack, saves you a lot of time in trim. I mean, literally saves you hours. So yeah, obviously this one isn't set up because I had recently completed a grow and I'm kind of waiting for these other plants to get into a better situation before I start my next one. In Minnesota, you have to have 4 plants in veg and 4 in flower and not a single more to be legally compliant. And I'm obviously not going to record a video of me breaking a law. Not that I break any laws, I do not. I follow them to a T. And even behind me in my corner video here, where I'm in the corner, I actually have a signed by Governor Walz copy of HF 100, the legalization bill, as I stood next to him when he signed the bill. So yeah, cool stuff. Again, use code JACOB, JACOB, to save a significant amount at any of the brands I've mentioned here in this video. Links will be included in the description. Let me know if you want to see anything more. It's nothing crazy. It is not rocket science. Don't overthink it. And the best part about any of these brands are they are very responsive and very helpful when it comes to giving support and answering your questions. Many of these brands have videos and tutorials already posted, but I'm happy to be a source of support as needed. Again, if you do have anything go wrong, you can get all the accessories, all the individual pieces from all the sites that you need. But again, I just wanted to make this video going over my Autopot setup specifically, and honestly how much I'm enjoying it. I will say at the end of the grow, when you're tossing everything out, getting rid of your grow medium and all the roots and everything, it's as easy as just getting like some disinfecting solution and a rag and just wiping everything down and starting over. Quite literally, due to the layout of my home and my setup, I just take everything and dump it out in a tub and call it a day, get the shop vac. And the tents I have a liner in them, so if you do have any overfilling issues where the water leaks out the bottom of the tray here, just swipe it all up with the shop vac and you're good to go. You're not going to get water on your hardwood floor or your carpet, and you're not going to damage anything. It is so painless. You know, once things are going well, and if you need to go on vacation for a week, fill up your tank here, make sure it's covered securely so the light doesn't promote anything, and you can leave. And even if that tank is in your grow tent, as long as it's covered, blocking out the light, you'll be fine. Your plant will grow on either side of the tank that's on the back of the tent, or if you have a bigger tent where it's not an issue, you'll be pretty fine. I have not had any issues, and I've run many grows this way due to constraints of the room I am using. So the main thing is keep a sterile environment. Even if it's not perfect, I've had great success. But yeah, again, code Jacob, just my first name, and you should be fine. Hit me in the comments with any questions, comments, or concerns. Please share this with anyone. Please sub, please like the video. I've put countless of hours and now a year plus into making my series, into finding sponsors, into finding educated people to come on my talk show, from legislators, cannabis scientists, other doctors and lawyers, etc. Check out the Fox and Buds show. And yeah, let me know what you think. If I'm going to be honest, I'd just get the Geopot system. I know it's a little bit pricier, but for about 30-40 bucks more, that air pruning aspect kind of helps the root system develop in a nicer and safer way. And I think that's really important. I'll put it this way, the little saplings, for lack of better words, the little baby plants in my current setup that you saw in the video, those are growing so strong. Obviously the one isn't, but hey, you're never going to have 100% plant grow ratio, and that's to be expected. Every grower that's tried to give me advice has told me, don't cry over a dead plant, don't cry over a subpar plant, an inadequate plant, I'll say it that way. Just get it out of there and make room for another one. You know, ain't use crying over spilled milk. I will say though, in one of my last grow series, I did spend months cleaning out the system, disinfecting it, trying to save plants, because I'm still a baby grower. I'm still very new to everything, and I'm gonna own that. I don't have all the answers, but I'll do my best to help you. And in learning, I made a point to try to bring those plants back from the dead, and I did so successfully. They had a solid harvest. Everyone enjoyed them. I dried and cured them just fine, and I have tutorials on that as well. And the goal of that was to learn. So if you do have the time and energy, there's nothing wrong with experimenting and seeing what can work, what doesn't work, taking notes and learning. It's a whole process. Each grow is going to be different, and each grow is going to be individualistic to the various inputs you got going on. Are you doing it in a shower in a basement? Are you doing it in a shipping container? Are you using an actual professional setup in a room that's lined with reflective mylar, and you're going in there with a full PPE setup with mask and everything? Everything's different. So remember, what works for me isn't going to always be what works for you, but you can hopefully pick up the tidbits of what I'm dropping and find ways that that might apply to your situation. And if not, you can at least comment below and let me know what's going on, and I'll try to get back to you with some advice or at least a resource that might be able to further help you. So yeah, again, please sub. This is what pays my bills. Please share so I can help grow this channel, and please like the video so it gets boosted in people's algorithm. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this was educational, even though it was essentially just one big advertisement. But I really am setting outside the marketing aspect of things. I am extremely grateful for my partnership with Autopot. I'm extremely grateful for the team that runs that company. They've been nothing but phenomenal. Anytime I've needed something, they've shipped it right to me, as you can see in the video over there. They sent me some bases to my plastic pots. The gentleman I had help me clean them out somehow lost the little covers to the base. I don't know what happened. They're probably in my backyard in my pile of dirt. Whatever. Shit happens. But Autopot was super quick to replace them, and you can always buy all the replacements you need, you know, on all the parts here. Buy them in bulk packs. Makes it super easy to pick yourself back up and start over and not lose too much time in your grow. One little bonus tip though, if you stayed to this long, one nice little bonus tip is if you get multiple excuse me, connectors, you can put a valve connector here and here, and that way if you have an issue with one plant, you can shut off the water feeding to one plant and just manually feed that one plant, manually take care of it until it gets back to good health, and then you can reconnect it to the main supply. That way you can isolate it. If there is an infection or something, it won't spread to the other plants. It just isolates everything. So it might be worth it to get extra connectors, and these are what you're looking for, the inline taps, and have the ability to isolate everything. I've done that with that one plant in my Geopots. It is completely isolated because it was just having issues, and I wanted to be safe. Because last time I learned the hard way what one infected plant can do to the others. Just like they say, one bad apple can spoil the bunch. So there's your little pro tip for those of you that stuck it around until the end. It can save you a lot of time, money, and tears, and sweat, and blood, and everything else. Thanks again for watching. I hope you have a blessed day. Peace.